We are into race 16 of 21 races that we have for you today. This is the second and final heat for the Cadet Ayami class. 36 drivers, led the lights by, well, they will be in a few short moments, by the Fusion Motorsport O-Plate kart, British Open champion and former Kart Masters GP cadet race winner, Taylor Barnard, with Freddie Slater on the outside of row 1, William McIntyre and Alex Dunn on row 2, Freddie Spindlow and Arvin Lindblad on row 3, Oliver Denny and Rashan Chikarimbo on row 4, then Max Dodds and Max Barrow, Oliver Gray and Josh Rowledge, Archie Mason, Sam Shaw, Aidan Neaton, Harley Keeble, Archie Kitching and Aston Miller, Jake Weston and Vinnie Phillips, Aaron Walker and Bradley Beavers, Luke Watts, the E-plate holder, that is the English champion, Archie Brown, Koskan Irfan and Josh McLean, then Harry Burgoyne Jr., Robbie Stapleford, Alfie Briggs, Charlie Walsh, Jay Holtby and Sophia Zanfari, the young lady from Morocco. But Barnard leads them into the tram lines. 36 cadets get underway. Barnard leads through the Bruno Ferrari S's, and they all get under the tunnel cleanly. Now out onto the banking. And it's Barnard who leads them across the bridge for the first time. A great shot, just showing how close these karts are, and these drivers, 9, 10, some of them are young as 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, flashing onto the bridge. They're inches apart. And they all get round clean. It's a great sight to see. Into the second chicane they go. Barnard, that's done in third in the number 11 kart. It's Barnard and Slater, I believe. The glare in the late afternoon sun here can make it occasionally a little bit tricky, but it's the number 44 of McIntyre in second place. But it's done third. On to the start-finish line to complete lap number 1. Slater is fourth. Then it is the 23 of Arvin Lindblad. Under the bridge, lap number 2. Taylor Barnard will look for assistance from Billy McIntyre, but I have to say that the first cadet Ayami heat, well, it started kicking off on lap 2 and kept kicking off until they got back to Parc Ferme. Dunn takes second. Slater up to third, McIntyre back to fourth. There's the number 15 of Max Barrow, the Mark Baines Motorsport kart. And he is just in front of just behind the number 16 of Sam Shaw for the Eclipse Motorsport team. But really, it's only Alex Dunn and occasionally Arvin Lindblad that are able to hold a consistent threat to the white and pink Fusion Motorsport juggernaut at the front of the field. And Lindblad, the ORM, I'm just going to ask Alex T what ORM stands for. Is it maybe it's a misprint. It stands for no hair racing. Wax on, wax off racing, something like that. Who knows? Barnard. Through turn to the second hairpin. There's the 43 of Oliver Denny going through. And there is number 21, Archie Mace. And the driver just behind him with the Golf livery crash helmet. That's Aston Miller. Always easy to spot. Into the Mike Wilson complex. Dunn has slipped back a little bit. It's now Barnard who's been able to maintain his place at the front of the field while everyone is chopping and changing behind. It's now his two teammates, Slater in the 77, McIntyre in the 44, and then Dunn in the 11, but McIntyre trying to push Slater back up to Barnard, and Taylor Barnard is just thinking to himself, I want to clear off through turn 3. Sam Shaw, lap of the race for Eclipse Motorsports, and that will make Marlowe happy for the hours of waft work he's done. And there's a bit of air time there, and just a slight misjudgment there, and that was vaulted up. And there's William McIntyre getting muscled about a bit. That was the number 14 of Josh Rowledge, the Strawberry Racing driver, taking his line and taking McIntyre wide, but McIntyre slots back into line. He loses a place or two, and that's Rashan Chikarimbo in the black and the blue and kind of silvery liveried cart. And again, said earlier, I watched that graphics kit getting made down at Tom Harvey Racing Graphics last week, and the detailing is absolutely outstanding on that cart. And of course, Chikarimbo now doing his best not to get it all scuffed up on the very first day. He wants it to look good for the finals. There's Rowledge, and Rowledge in the number 14, he's got the bit between his teeth. There's Freddie Spindlow, number 60. That's a good performance from Freddie, who had that issue in the first heat that saw him crash with a couple of other drivers on the opening lap. He's down in 15th place, but going very quickly. He's chasing Aidan Neat in the 57. And Aidan Neat, of course, the son of ex-British touring car driver Andy Neat. And Archie Mace is there in 13th. Harley Keeble up into 12th. Max Dodds 11th. Lindblad down to 10th. And it was Lindblad we saw just having a moment coming out the first hairpin a couple of laps ago. This is the battle on track now between Dunn in the 11 and Slater in the 77. So McIntyre is muscled wide by Rowledge and has dropped back to about 6th or 7th positions behind Chikarimbo in 7th. There is Spindlow in the number 60 pushing Archie Mace along in 13th and 14th place. Warning flag there for the number 72 of Archie Brown, one of the next-gen motorsports cars. Aidan Neat gets a warning flag as well. So that's all happening down in about the 15th, 16th, 17th place area. You just see the back of the screen now coming down towards hairpin number 1 as the top 10 move towards hairpin number 2. Barnard leads by nearly a second. Dunn and Slater trying to work together to catch him. With Rowledge into 4th, and Shaw, Chikarimbo, McIntyre, Barrow, Lindblad, Denny and Dodds. So through the Mike Wilson complex on to the start-finish straight again. There's the green and white Strawberry Racing Tony Kart. Josh Rowledge, who's chasing Alex Dunn and Freddie Slater. I have to say that Slater is doing a fine job of pushing Dunn along. They are gaining ground on Taylor Barnard. Lindblad sets the fastest lap of the race, 67.80. Into the first hairpin. Goes that battle for second place. They're now 6/10 down. They are gaining, and I think maybe Slater is saying, I'm going to push Dunn up to my teammate, and the minute we get there, I'm going to send him up the inside, running wide. I'm into second, he's down to 3rd with no help and out of the slipstream. How does that sound? Well, we'll see what happens. I'm sure that Alex Dunn is aware that he's got a Fusion driver in front of him and a Fusion driver behind him, and that with 2 minutes to go, he could end up battling 2 Fusion drivers for the win. That fact is not lost on Alex Dunn. But for now, doesn't matter what colour your car is, you work together to get to the front. Less than 2 minutes to go, but that last lap, Taylor Barnard was fractionally faster than his pursuers. Battle going through your screen. There's Denny in the 43 and the E-plate holder. Luke Watts going through. Warning flag for Shua Yuen. One of the 3 Hong Kong-based drivers, they're all in the same family. But the youngest of the 3 gets a warning flag, and Shua is running in... Where is he running? In the number 17 kart, when he's outside the top. He's down in 36th position. So he's given someone a little dig, and it's cost himself some time, and he's got a warning flag for his troubles. Here's Rowledge now. Rowledge back in the pack, so he's been passed by Shaw and McIntyre. Rowledge 6th, Chikarimbo 7th. And let's have a look at the gap with 50 seconds to go. Barnard is exactly the same distance in front as he was the lap before. So Dunn and Slater, they're working together but not gaining on Barnard all out on his own. And that'll be a cause of concern, because they're thinking, well, how come we're not closing? They're doing all the things we should be doing. And he's still up there. Koskin-Irvin setting a new fastest lap. Behind these top 3, here's a good battle for 4th. Coming around the first hairpin now. McIntyre, Rowledge, Chikarimbo, Shaw and Lindblad. Denny at the back of that with the group, and Dodd. Then Barrow and Keeble. In fact, Freddie Spindler in 13th is also kind of tacking onto that little group, as is Archie Mason, Koskin-Irfan, with Luke Watts in 16th. Actually, that battle goes all the way from 4th to 16th. And there's a bit of a gap to Andrew Brown in 17th and Vinnie Phillips in 18th, with Oliver Gray and then McLean in rounding out the top 20. So last lap board goes out, and suddenly the gap has shrunk from 7 tenths to 3 tenths. They took 3 tenths out of Barnard on that last lap. And there's the move from Slater to the inside of Dunn as they go onto the banking. Barnard continues to lead. Slater into second. Dunn fighting back. Dunn retakes second, and that will hand the race to Taylor Barnard, because they have now cost themselves a bit of momentum, and they're still fighting. So Dunn has realised, well, it's either second or third. I'd rather take second, thank you. Forget about the win. Up the short chute, Barnard just easing away. He's going to win this one by over a second, because Dunn has to defend into the Fullerton S's. Slater's going to try and get at the inside of him and get a better run. He does get a good run onto the back straight, but Dunn moves across to defend, which means there's no way through going into Bobby Game corner, and it's pretty much single file through there. But Taylor Barnard, a controlled performance from the O-Plate winner. Can he make it 2 Cadet Kart Masters titles this year? We will see in a couple of days' time, but he has started very well indeed. The rest of the field coming across the line 3 wide as they cross the line. And again, drivers fighting for 21st place just as hard as they fight for first place. But it's Taylor Barnard, Alex Dunn, Freddie Slater in the top 3. Josh Rowledge finishes in 4th place. McIntyre 5th. Then Rashan Chikarimbo just ahead of Sam Shaw by 700ths of a second. Arvin Lindblad in 8th. Max Dodd's 9th. And Freddie Spindler rounds out the top 10. Ahead of Irfan, Denny, Barrow, Watts and Keeble. Looking down, and 36 karts started. And 36 karts finished, with Sophia Zanfari rounding out the field. And the top 17, separated by less than 10 seconds at the flag. So obviously Sophia Zanfari didn't just put in a blinding last lap and beat Taylor Barnard. So it's Barnard, Dunn, Slater, Rowledge, McIntyre, Chikarimbo, Shaw, Lindblad, Dodds. But of course, there have been post-race penalties. I haven't gone down that road of looking at all the results and running through the list of everyone who's got nose cone penalties today. We'll just review the action on track. And for those of you that are family and friends and things like that, then you can always go to the Trent Valley Kart Club website, the Tag Heuer website, to view the results booklets, which are published as soon as the results are finalised. By the time you have finished watching today and then made some dinner or some breakfast, depending on where you are in the world.